Hello everyone and welcome back to our modded series in the Midwest region of the United States in Transport Fever 2. So today we're going to handle some more projects. I don't know what that is yet, but just a wonderful reminder that we just built our grand train station. So right now we are in 1923. Just remember, we started in the 1850s, and I think we're somewhat halfway through to the 2000s, so that is some good news. But we need to make sure we keep an eye on Huntsville. It seems like all our lines are doing fine except for the transport back and forth to the train station. So we need to keep a very close eye on that. But otherwise, I think this city is probably going to be making us the most money by far. And I want to see if we can do something to where all the other cities are just as efficient. But that reminds me, we can still do a lot more with our cargo lines. So let's not forget about that. I want to see how our Huntsville cargo line is doing because Huntsville is our main city, by far our main city, and that's just how it's going to work. Alright, so far the Huntsville construction line does deliver to our city. It transports about 90% of its demand, so therefore we are doing just fine on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add additional vehicle just so we can keep up with that demand just fine. Not to mention, I think we just really need to make sure Huntsville Red Line does fine because we got way too many people waiting on the line just in general. So we're going to make sure we add another vehicle for the Red Line. And I think I kind of forgot, like we can come over here and, oh my god, look how messy this is. It's so messy. How can we make this less messy? I hate how these buildings are being brought in right here. Oh my god, look how many trains. Look how many trains at once. Oh my god. There's 4 trains pulling in at once. You know, I just have to say that is spectacular. I love that. That's amazing. I want to see if at some point here soon I can get the rail lines fixed right over here because as you can see right here, it's going to be a little bit noisy. Everything dips down. And this is an awful crossing. Oh my god. So many accidents would happen on this road. In real life, there would be so many accidents. Alright, I'm pausing it for a quick second. I want to see if I can go ahead... Oops, wrong button. Ooh, game doesn't like me for any of that. What we can do is... it's hanging off. Look at this. It's gonna die. Okay, let's make sure we fix this accordingly. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring it through and make sure it's level. So that is level right there. It's going to raise up the land right there just a little bit, but it's going to look a lot cleaner. And I'm going to do the same right here. Should I do the same right there? We'll do the same on this side. And let's bring you right here. There we go. We had to remove some buildings, but we have over $10 million. Jeez, I didn't even realize we got that far. So I think it pulled into this station, right? That would make most sense. Yes. And then this one pulls into this station on the left. Yes. Alright, everything's moving smoothly. That's good. Let's give the red line an upgrade over here. I'm assuming the red line's pulling into that side. Make sure you have a little bit more waiting space. You'll need it. Ooh, okay, so we just unlocked some new vehicles. We unlocked the ammo trucks. Okay. And then we unlocked that locomotive there, which I don't usually use because it's one of those weird small ones that don't really make much sense. But we unlocked that in case you were curious. Now we could do a big project, and I kind of want to do it just because. Why not? That's usually what we do here. We have a farm that goes to a food processing plant, which can come over here to Lexington. So therefore we can earn some good money. Now the way that we're going to do that is a little bit iffy because we got this big mountain here. I just want to see how much it would cost. Yeah, cost us a few $1 million. Alright, so let's do a little bit of a speed build. We're going to connect some food up over here. And before we do that, it accepts 53 food. So 53, that's not a lot. This city's very small. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys here in a second. Alright, here we go. We just finished everything. Nothing too big and disastrous or anything like that. We just have our farm over here that goes straight to our food processing plant. Nothing exciting, with our train depot right in the middle so it can be serviced to both trains. Then our processed food will go right ahead through these mountains here, kind of hit a straight line, and it comes to the outskirts of the city. I brought it through the mountain here as well, just because I wanted it to stay away from the city, preventing sort of like the emissions and stuff like that. And we have our industrial side over here, so it shouldn't hit our residential much at all. But that being said, I am having a little bit of an issue where I can't change the lines for Lexington food. So for over here, it's going through the first station side, but I can't switch it to... Well, now I can switch it to number 2. Before I couldn't. Alright, that was a waste of time. But let's go ahead and purchase some vehicles. So our city can accept 53 food at a time. Nothing too big. So hypothetically, we go ahead and bring up a boxcar. All we need is 4 right now. We don't need anything more than 4. And I think we may just do the Atlantic for now because our Atlantic is starting to get older. We can use our 10-wheeler, but that is even more older. And I mean, like, we're going to be upgrading to the Mikado and the MILW class EP2. So we're just going to go ahead and put one of these down. Not that many carts at all. Yeah, I think we're going to put down 2 of these because we'll have this one also be serviced for our raw food as well. We're just going to put them both down at the same time. We'll lose us some money, but that's all right. There we go. Oh yeah, and the good thing about this line is that it will bring food to Lexington without any issue. We don't need to transport it to a truck just to bring it over, which is very good because we don't need to worry about that. As you can see, all the food is right by the train station here where it's going to be dropped off. And before I forget, we actually need some sort of like cargo drop-off building before there's issues about it. Very messy train station. But you know what? That brings forth renovations in the future, which is really fun. All right, let's go see if we can fix some things up, and let's see if we can do anything else that's pretty neat. I'm just checking over at Huntsville before we start looking at things, because Huntsville Red Line's doing fine. All the other lines are doing fine. Our train station is... I selected on a train by accident. Our train station is doing pretty good, except for Huntsville and Rochester. If you recall in the last video, we tried to alleviate some of that stress. I don't know if it is starting to alleviate or if it's not. We just need to keep an eye on that because it's transporting 100 people. So, and I think there was just around 100 people there. So it may be handling its demand now. I think that's good. Not to mention Rochester's growing. Look at how big Rochester's getting. Wow, that's nice. What is this line? Rochester Pink Line. Oh, no wonder why you need to be upgraded. There we go, fixing some issues. We'll give you the Schneider. There you go. You know what? I just realized I gave this train box carts instead of the gondolas for our... Oops, I still messed that up. Instead of the gondolas, so we need to make sure it has the right thing to actually be able to transport food. So we're going to give you that now. We're actually going to give it 5 just in case. I want to make sure that's doing just fine. So hopefully it'll start transporting some food now. Ah, here we go. I found an issue. It took me a little bit because I kind of forget about Cambridge sometimes. Very sorry, Cambridge. But if we look here, we have an overstock on construction material for Cambridge. And actually they're getting an upgrade soon, which is good because our train line's also losing money, but that's probably because it needs to have more room to produce. So the transport is actually pretty high up there. It's just that there's some overstock and I don't want to make sure it doesn't continue to have an issue. So we'll actually use these guys for our delivery line to alleviate some stress. And it seems like there's an issue with our bus stop over here toward Cambridge Blue. Alright, this means we need to fix some things because Cambridge Pink isn't dealing with the issue, but this area over here is having some issues, to say the least. So we're actually going to go ahead and change how these lines are set up because I really don't like how they're set up at all. Figure 8s, don't do them. It's not worth it. So what if we just did something like that? It's still in the shape of a figure 8, but it's not both lines going at the same time. So we have one bus coming in hitting this loop, and then we have another one coming to hit these 2 stops over here. I think that should work out better, but that does mean that... How many vehicles does Cambridge Blue have? It has 2, and Cambridge Pink has 2. We're going to give a Schneider over to our blue line over here, and I think that should do it. if I'm not mistaken. Let's just see how that works. That should alleviate the stress on our stations. Ooh, we unlocked a new plane. That's nice. How are our airports doing, by the way? I don't think they're transporting much. I think they're still struggling. So, like at this bus stop, 3 people waiting, which is better than none, I guess. This one has 2 people waiting. How is the Augusta airport doing? 5 people waiting. So maybe they are becoming slightly more popular? Okay, so 3 years from when we actually started this, in-game years, we actually are making money, just around $200,000. I don't think that funds the airports properly because the airports are very expensive. You have to be really cautious about that. In this game, the airports are expensive compared to like train stations and bus stations and stuff like that. Yeah, so far, the maintenance on the vehicles are being taken care of. There's no worries about that. The place that it's not being taken care of is in the infrastructure. So that means the airports are costing us a lot more money. So we need to make sure we keep an eye on that. We're not going to do too much else with that for now. We're just going to monitor it, and hopefully we get enough people flowing through so we can fund that infrastructure properly. Alright, I spotted another issue with Huntsville and Anchorage. Got a lot of people waiting. So this is one of our newest lines, which I think we may have also done last episode. Kind of keep forgetting which episode's what. But yeah, there's 100 like something people waiting at that station over there. So the people from Huntsville and Anchorage, yeah, there's a lot of people waiting here too. Let's see what kind of train we have. It's an 8-year-old engine. Now, what if, and I say if, what if we replace this, actually we can give it another cart as well, but what if we replace this with some new technology that we haven't used yet? Now I am thinking that we replace it with our wonderful locomotives that we did get. And I like this one, but I forget where it is. Ooh, our roads are upgrading. Oh, that's wonderful. Ooh, we're moving into the future. That being mentioned, we do have this locomotive right here, the MILW Class EP2, which is very fast and it really does move. What if we gave it the heavyweight parlors, right? Which is very expensive, but what if we did that and just upgraded the line? You know, another thing that really annoys me too, ooh, we're getting high-speed tracks, awesome, is that I just want to upgrade, ooh, so they did fix that. I want to upgrade that section right there, and I want this to work all throughout right here. Just gotta make sure we're not missing little patches and stuff like that. But we're gonna make this an electrical line. Oh, it comes in right there, beautiful. Let's upgrade this right now. So what if we just go ahead, replace selected vehicle. We're gonna give it this with 6 carts. $20 million locomotive. We're going for it. Now this thing is awesome because it does go 75 miles an hour. It hits our maximum speed. Like right now it's already at 50 miles an hour and it just came from the station. Alright, here we go. We just waited long enough to where all these vehicles are in very bad condition. But it seems as if we want to go ahead and go to Wichita Food and see what their issue is. And while we are moving over to Wichita Food, we did unlock a new locomotive. Gotta love how time is progressing for us. So it seems as if everything's basically being transported from Wichita Farm number 2. And we do have another Wichita Farm. Yeah, it's right over here. So what I'm thinking about doing, how much food is Wichita getting? It's not getting as much as they could be getting because they are not producing everything. They are definitely shipping everything they can, but definitely not producing. So what we're gonna do, in a way to end off this episode, is we're gonna go ahead and put down a small little cargo station for our vehicles, and we're gonna actually create a Wichita Food line number 2. Alright, if we take a look here, Wichita Food, how are we doing? We have how many vehicles here? So we have 8 vehicles here. Now over here by the farm, we do have approximately, alright, so we have double the amount of vehicles over here. If we manage the vehicles, we're going to replace all of them. That's just how it works here. We do have the Mack trucks that do go 19 miles an hour, not as fast as I want it to, but it does carry a little bit more. Not good enough for me though. So I may just end up resulting over to the Benz trucks because they usually do well. They have 7 versus 6, and they basically go almost twice the speed limit. So I'm thinking we may delete 3 vehicles. Let's delete 3 vehicles. So we're going to end up deleting 3, and we're going to replace the rest. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So that should be handled right there. And as it is, all the vehicles that bring food into the city are going to be replaced with our wonderful Benz trucks as well. We're probably going to have to add on a few more because we're probably going to add, I would say, we are actually going to send 10 trucks to our new Wichita Food line. Alright, so here we go. Our truck convoy is now going over to deliver more food to Wichita, which should grow the city even more, and this would be even another wonderful city to go ahead, edit, renovate, and do whatever we deem necessary. But for now, this is where we're going to end off the video. I thank you guys for joining me today. If you have not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, I would highly appreciate it, as I am a small YouTube channel. The train is crossing. But any comments, suggestions, please leave them down below. I'm running out of some ideas to do, so I'd like to hear from you guys. Wow, we still have an old train for that one too. I thought we updated that. Alright, we'll fix that in probably next episode. But I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.